is Crystal Ortiz, and I am the Senior Program Coordinator for Junior Achievement of New Mexico. Thank you for attending our virtual career speaker event. This program is open to JA students across New Mexico and highlight business professionals, entrepreneurs, and innovative thinkers from a variety of industries. Each featured speaker will share details about their education, job, and career journey. If you have questions during the presentation, please write them down or type them in the chat box. We'll address them during the Q&A portion of our event. So today we are excited to welcome Vidal Gonzales, owner and founder of the Uncivilized Outdoorsman. Thank you, Vidal, so much for being here today. So we will share our screen and the floor is yours.
Great, thank you so much. Hello, everybody. My name is Vidal Gonzales. I'm from Santa Clara Pueblo, and I am the owner and founder of the Uncivilized Outdoorsman. Next slide, please. Yeah, so some of you might be wondering, like, who is this guy talking to me right now, right? So I grew up traditionally in Santa Clara Pueblo, where I grew up farming. I was a very avid outdoorsman starting at a very young age. And from that, I started getting into fly fishing and then guiding and fly fishing. And I'm a huge outdoorsman, so I also like to hunt big game. I got this bull actually on my reservation a few years ago back. And in this other photo, it has some of the hats and the designs that I've created over the years while owning the Uncivilized Outdoorsman. Next slide, please. So why did I start this company? So for me, as a Native American from a Pueblo community here in New Mexico, and also as a New Mexican myself, there wasn't really an outdoor company that spoke to me as a Native American, or even at that as a New Mexican. So I wanted to create a brand that was really for me and for my people, and that really spoke to a lot of the things that created my identity, and also to be proud of that. Next slide, please. So how it all started. So this was the very, very first design that I had ever created. I was in my undergraduate at the University of New Mexico, and at that point in time, I was working for the New Mexico Land Grant Studies program. And one of my bosses came into the room as I was working, and he said, "Oh, you know, as a student, you can download the Adobe Pro Suite for free. So Photoshop, Illustrator, all of these different programs." And so right then and there, he helped me download it. And I didn't even check out for work that day before I started to create this design. So I started with the outline of the state with all of the different colors, with the dancero, or the sun, in the corner, with the fish, and some different iconography that really spoke to me as a Native American and as a New Mexican. And then I started to brainstorm and thinking, okay, well, what can I really name the company? So I started going through different iterations of what have people in the past called our people or Native Americans. So I went through different negative connotations, and I finally landed on the Civilized Outdoorsman. So with that term, I really wanted to create something that was historically negative into something that was really positive. Next slide, please. So like I said, I created that design in 2019. And then after that, I started to create stickers. And then after I created stickers, and I started to create more designs, and so on and so forth. And at that point in time, in 2022, I decided to form a limited liability company. And that was a reason of just to really start to formalize my vision and goals as becoming a company. And up to that point in time, it was really just selling merchandise. But then in 2022, I started and founded the first Indigenous and Hispanic youth fly fishing camp. And with that camp, it really has become a movement of what the company and all of our partners that we partner with different tribes and nonprofits in different communities here in New Mexico, is we're really trying to use outdoor recreation or experiential education as a form to pass on traditional knowledge. Next slide, please. So some of the products and services that we offer is, first of all, like I said, we're an Indigenous outdoors brand. So we have hats, shirts, and stickers, and we're also a fly fishing guide service. We provide outdoor and experiential education services. We do traditional knowledge services, community fundraising services, grant writing services, and event planning services. So all of these services we offer for our community partners. Next slide, please. So services and partners. We partner with schools, nonprofits, tribes, and local guide services, and they all contract with us for our outdoor and traditional knowledge education services. There's a really big growing need and market as schools and nonprofits start to decolonize their curriculum and experiment with experiential education, which is what we partner or what we specialize in at the Uncivilized Outdoorsman. Next slide, please. So in the office, this is kind of like some of the different activities in my day-to-day, different things that I do. So in this photo here, you see me designing one of the newest designs that we're going to be coming out with. And all of my designs, I get it through the copyright office and go through that process before dropping any new designs, just so that we kind of get all of our T's and I's dotted before we put any new designs out there. So designing new designs, building curriculum, doing a taxing and different accounting, running all of my own books, doing inventory. So going through all of the different stickers, counting which ones we have in stock, doing several meetings with several partners and planning for different activities that we're going to be doing, and just really getting ready for our days out in the water or at the schools or with the communities that we're going to be partnering with. Next slide, please. So that's kind of like in the office, and then out in the field is when we're going out with the community partners and we're doing the different activities. And this is my personal favorite thing to do and my favorite part of the job. So days out in the field, we're fly fishing, we're doing educational hikes, we may be doing workshops in a school or in a community center. We're doing presentations, and then also on my own time, I'm scouting different waters to making sure that there's going to be a good amount of concentration of fish there, that the fishing will be good for our different activities. And my favorite part of the job is really being out there with the students and with the community members and really changing their life, and really getting their connection to their ancestral lands and fostering their own thoughts in relationship to it. Next slide, please. So in high school or middle school, I never personally knew what I wanted to do, but I knew I always wanted to give back to my community. And I was always very interested in the outdoors, in our different traditions, in gathering different herbs and medicines, and also visiting our ancestral sites and learning as much as I could. So with all of that upbringing, I always wanted to be able to come back to my community and give back. But in what way and how I wanted to do that, I didn't really know in high school. Next slide, please. So some past jobs that I had in general, my very first job, I was part of a youth conservation crew, and we were putting in trails. We were working up in the Abiquiu area, and man, it was really, really hard work putting in trails, just a lot of manual labor, but it was really incredible time. Another job that I didn't really like so much was a housekeeper and janitor. I did that trying to save up as much money as I could so that I could go on a high school field trip. And another one that I had was being a YCC preservation crew, working for the National Park Service as a preservationist, working for the New Mexico Land Grant Council, and also for the New Mexico Acequia Association. Next slide, please. So what job changed my life? The first job that really changed my life was working for the Youth Conservation Corps in the preservation program. So at that point in time, we were the first crew at Bandelier National Monument to be able to work on the ancestral ruins there, which all of the crew was all descendants of that place and of the park. And we were also being mentored by our own elders from our own communities, and they worked for the National Park Service. So that was really just an incredible time in my life, just gaining as much knowledge as I could from our elders, passing on different knowledges from our different communities. And it really created a foundation for eventually what I wanted to continue to do on in life. The next part was working for the National Park Service as a preservationist, and I took on that lead role of then working for the National Park Service and mentoring the YCC program. And the last job that really changed my life was New Mexico Land Grant Council. Not only creating the design while at work and getting paid to do that, but also being able to understand that the traditional Hispanic communities here in New Mexico have also had a lot of loss and suffering, and seeing the different similarities between our traditional Hispanic communities and our tribes here, and how colonization from the Americans really put us at odds, also different historical contexts. So that really changed my life and opened my worldview in understanding a little and being a little bit more critical of how government and bureaucracy operates. Next slide, please. So my education and background, I went to the Santa Clara Day School here in the Pueblo, and that goes up to 6th grade. And then from there, I went to Poaque Middle School and then to the high school, and then I graduated there. I was always a troublemaker. I grew up in a single mother household, so I was, trying to deal with the different things of that coming with, being in a single mother household with my father not being there, but being always loved and cared for by my great grandparents and my great aunts and uncles, and then also my grandparents. So that was really incredible part to be able to be raised by the whole community. And then I went to UNM. I got my bachelor's in anthropology, and after that, then I worked for the National Park Service for about 2 years. And then after that, I decided to go back to school and get my master's in community and regional planning, which I did obtain. And then I also have my first aid and CPR certification to make sure that when we do go out with all of the kids and with the community mentors, that we're able to provide any emergency care that may happen. Next slide, please. And with that, I will be taking any questions.
Awesome. Just wonderful, Vidal. Absolutely loved hearing your story. It was really great to kind of see your journey just from this Indigenous lens, from a community member, really just kind of going from start to finish. Love it. So we'll take a few moments to look at our questions from students. One of our questions comes from a student, and they are asking, if I were to attend a fly fishing camp, what would I be doing?
Yeah, so if you were to attend one of our camps, what we would be doing is in the morning, we would get everybody kind of signed in, and any paperwork that may be out there, we'll get the liabilities forms turned into us. And then at that point in time, we'll get you all sized up into some gear and get that checked out to you for the day. So we'll get you some wading boots and some wading socks is usually what we hand out. And then after that, everybody kind of just gathers around as a community and has a conversation while we get everybody else checked in. And at that point in time, we have an elder come in and everybody will circle up. Well, we always open up with a traditional prayer from one of our community elders. And after that prayer, then the elder will give a traditional knowledge talk about the different histories and knowledge that we're surrounded in, and really center us on what our intentions of the day are. And after that part, then we'll break up into groups. And if they're an Indigenous youth, they get partnered with an Indigenous mentor. And if they're Hispanic youth, they get partnered with a Hispanic mentor. And throughout the day, they're learning how to fly fish, but they're also learning different things of ethnobotany, which is essentially the study of plants through the cultural lens of it. So they'll be learning that, they'll be learning the different stories on the landscape, the different histories, and all of that while fly fishing. And then at lunchtime, we come and we group up and we have a big community lunch. And after lunch, then we give out prizes and different gear away. And after lunch, then we go back out fly fishing for the rest of the day. And then at the end of the day, we close up, get all of the gear back, and everybody gets sent off on their way. But it's just a really fantastic time.
Oh, that definitely sounds like a lot of fun. Something maybe I want to take advantage of. Never been fly fishing, but that sounds like a great experience for young people. So another question that came up from the chat was, what other careers are there under the Uncivilized Outdoorsman? Are there any employment opportunities for our youth?
Yes, there are. So we have got started this last year, which we're actually just finishing our first year of our youth guide program and mentor program. So all of the students from our past years, they now have been graduated essentially into our new mentorship program. And now they are in a mentorship role, and they're coming back and they're guiding the next generation of students. So with our main guides, we now have these youth guides that are learning the ropes of the outdoor industry, learning how to guide, learning different forms of traditional knowledge, and coming back and really giving back to the community. And they're really our interns, and on our different guiding programs, they're all coming out with us, and they're getting a paid stipend as well.
Ah, wonderful. Love that community support, community mentorship. Such a wonderful opportunity again for our youth. One more question for you, Vidal. Actually, maybe I'll have two. But where can they find these wonderful designs?
Yes, anything that you may be interested in looking up on about our company, you can look up uncivilizedOutdoorsman.com, and you can find anything that you want to, our products, find out different things about our different programs and our partnerships. And then if you are interested in being updated, potentially to register for one of our camps, the best way to get notified is to get registered to our email listserv. And then from there, you can just keep an eye out on your emails, and then that'll be the easiest way to then apply to our programs.
Wonderful. And I see a really cool hat you have on. If a student or myself wanted to buy one, where can we buy them at?
Yeah, so you can go on the website and put in log in one of our forms from there, but we also have products at the Real Life Fly Shop in Santa Fe, the REI store in Santa Fe, the REI in Albuquerque, Leaf and Tackle in Santa Fe, the Taos Fly Shop in Taos, and then the Los Pinos Fly Shop in Albuquerque.
Wonderful. Such wonderful ways to get involved with your community, be out there in the community. So Vidal, while we wrap up our career speaker event, what is one last piece of advice that you were given, or something you would like to share with all of our students and educators who are tuning in today?
Yeah, of course. I would say in life, you're going to be faced with a lot of different challenges, and just continue to push through that and continue to just put your nose to the grinding stone, as they say, and always try to learn where you come from, who your people are, learn the knowledge, learn your traditional language, learn everything that you can so that we can continue our traditional ways of life into the future.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Vidal. Thank you so much for sharing your incredible career journey with us. It was such a beautiful story very inspirational, and we truly appreciate you taking the time today to just help our students see that there's just tons of possibilities out there ahead of them. So thank you so much. Before we log off, just a couple of announcements. After this presentation, you'll be asked to complete a post-program mindset survey. We really appreciate your participation. Educators, make sure you share the survey link with your students. We'll have some amazing speakers added throughout the year to our YouTube channel. So please come back often for more professionals, more stories, and more opportunities to just be inspired. Once again, thank you so much, Vidal, and thank you so much to everyone for joining us. Have a wonderful and beautiful day. Bye.